welcome to another episode of the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news. I'm Rich Liebig.
And I'm Michael Costanzo.
And we have some interesting bits in world of sports, entertainment, odd news, and whatever else we happen to stumble across in our weekly podcast. The perfect meal for your mind. Thank you guys for joining us on another interesting episode. We've got a lot of sports topics to get to, a lot of interesting entertainment bits.
Yep.
And then, of course, crazy odd news at the end. But before we get into all of the shenanigans, Mikey, my friend, how you doing? What's happening in Costanzo country?
I'm doing pretty good. I've been watching a lot of film and television recently. I saw Oppenheimer a second time.
Stop flexing on me.
Twice.
All right,
Yeah.
come on.
Twice.
All right, it's tough for me to get to the theater.
I'm a special kind of white guy.
There you go. Perfect for Mike.
I'm a special kind of white guy.
I'm just so special. No, you know what? In all honesty, these long movies in theaters are tough. Like Oppenheimer's 3 hours.
And there's no intermission.
There's no intermission, and you have to figure, if the ticket says 11 o'clock or 12 or whenever, you still have like a 20 to 30 minutes of trailers beforehand. So you're in the theater for like...
Did yours have trailers?
Mine had trailers.
Oh, wow. I've been hearing that Oppenheimer has not had trailers because the movie's so long.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
What theater did you see it
Plymouth
at?
Meeting Mall. They had at least 15 to 20 minutes of trailers.
Oh, wow.
I know because I've stopped showing up to movies on time. Like, no, seriously, like, pro tip, your seats are reserved. The days of, like, having to line up at the theater and get seats. So, like, if the ticket says...
But I've heard that for Oppenheimer, because the movie's so long, they don't put any trailers.
Wow. I dodged a bullet then because
I
literally left my house 5 minutes before the time on the ticket.
Wow, you got lucky. I've been hearing that was the case, that the movie's starting on time.
Oh, yikes.
Wow.
All right, don't take my advice then.
Yeah.
Never mind.
The movie's so long. They have to try and fit as many viewings as they can, so they're not doing previews.
I've gotten into
That's
the
what
habit.
I've heard.
I've gotten into the habit of showing up to the theater.
Did it happen for both of your viewings?
Yeah, there were trailers for both.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
So your results may vary.
Yeah.
Show up. You know what? I take it back. Show up on time. I've been showing up like 5-10 minutes late, and then I'll get like a soda and a popcorn, and I still get back to the theater, and it's still pre-roll credit.
I'm a special kind of white guy.
There you go. That's Mikey's theme for this past week.
Yeah.
I'm a special kind of white guy.
I mean, I can't deny it. But yeah, I saw Oppenheimer twice. It's still good the second time around. You definitely have to find like a 4-hour block where you can go to the theater. It's tough because it's like your entire day. When you go to see the movie, it's like that's it. The day's pretty much between driving to the theater, sitting through 3+ hours, driving back. That's the day.
Right. So like to me it's just tough to block out a whole day to do it.
Yeah. I think more than anything, Oppenheimer is a great microcosm of the shift of views towards movies in theaters. Like, if you had asked us 4 years ago about a Christopher Nolan film, waiting for it to come out on streaming, what would we have said? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
And now it's like shoulder shrug. It's like, okay.
Yeah, it's a sign of the times.
Yeah.
You know? But I will see it. I vow I will see it at some point.
Yeah. Definitely got to go check it out. You also have to check out The Bear show on Hulu, which I just finished the second season of. It's fantastic. It's about a Michelin star chef who decides to leave the life of culinary glamour to run an Italian beef sandwich shop in Chicago that his brother left him. And I won't say anything more than that. It's just got fantastic writing. It creates so much tension watching them like move around and work in the kitchen, and it combines kitchen drama, family drama, humor, emotional parts. It's a fantastic series, and it keeps you like wanting to watch what's going to happen next. So I finished that, and in place of it, I decided to start up White Lotus because I heard you mention some good things about it. I've heard other good things about it, so I watched just the first episode, but I'm hooked. I'm interested.
Yeah, you get how it's like a reverse whodunit?
Yeah, so I mean, the first season starts off with, right away they're like, somebody died, and you're led to believe it's the obnoxious meathead guy's new wife, but I don't officially know
Right.
yet. I assume that's who it is that died. But yeah, I'm interested. I'm interested to see how all these characters' lives kind of intertwine in this this story that they're creating. So
Yep, very
looking
good
forward
show.
to it, yeah.
Yep, I definitely recommend it.
So that's what I've been up to, just watching movies and TV shows, and I don't know, just trying to avoid the heat, really. Just
Yeah.
hanging out inside.
Yeah, it's been hot recently here in Philly.
Yeah. So that's what I've been doing. What have you been up to recently?
So on the other side of Oppenheimer, I did see Barbie.
Yes.
So we're gonna
It's
talk.
good.
We're gonna talk about Barbie in the entertainment entree. So nice little teaser there for you. Whet the appetite, but make sure you stay for the whole podcast. I finished God of War, so I'm fully up to date on God of War now.
Nice.
And I was going through my catalog of games, and I realized I downloaded NBA 2K23.
Oh.
It was one of the free
Okay.
games one of the months.
So you starting a little basketball franchise?
So I downloaded it, and I wanted to play franchise mode and stuff. Oh my God, it is such a time waster. There are
Really?
so many things you can customize.
Oh.
It is ridiculous.
You love customizing sports teams.
Yeah. So
I mean, back in the day,
Like-
you used to make whole entire custom teams and players.
Yeah.
You were in it.
but you could only do one at the time. Now you can do up to 6 and expand the league. Yeah.
What?
It is crazy.
Okay, be honest. How many teams have you created?
Oh, I went the full 6. I
You
want
did?
I want
Yes.
to see how far I can push it.
Okay.
Now
So
your
league is 36 teams then.
in the NBA, yeah.
So how many teams do you let in the playoffs though? Is it still more than 50%?
Well, I've allowed the play-in tournament to stay put because
Okay.
now it is
Is a little more fair now?
yeah, it's now a worthy goal to try and get
Okay.
in the play-in tournament because you have to
Okay.
be in the top 10 out of 36.
Instead of just Okay.
Yeah. But it's crazy. So I was looking at they present you the current the way the current NBA structure is.
Right.
And then it's you can mix and match and you can move teams around and stuff like that.
Did you reorganize the divisions?
Yes.
Oh, you always talk about this.
Whoever came up with that idea, give them $1 million and have them work on Madden. I want that feature in Madden.
That is a really cool sounding feature, I will say.
Yes. So I looked at the Western Conference Central Division and I'm there's 4 California teams in there.
Right.
Take out Arizona or Phoenix Suns. Take them out of there. Make it a whole dedicated California division.
It's just the California division.
And what's a little bit of a cheat here, but I try. I'm trying to work through on limited time here. You can use custom teams that other people have created online.
Oh, okay.
And someone did a San Diego Surf franchise.
Oh.
And someone did an Oakland Oaks franchise.
Oakland Oaks. Okay.
And I'm you know what? That's 2 cities that got screwed over recently by the NFL.
Yeah.
Give them some basketball teams.
Hey, give them some DAP.
So you get that. 2 LA teams, Golden State Warriors, and Sacramento Kings. Boom. You have an
There you go.
all California division.
Nice. See, I like that. That is very satisfying to think of
Yeah.
an entire
Right?
It's not just
And that's just not me, right?
No.
That is that actually
No, that's
brought
that's-
joy to me.
that's
figuring-
awesome.
It's like a puzzle. It's I'm trying to figure out
it's one of the things that's always frustrated me about some of the NFL divisions. They don't make sense. Divisions in sports in general sometimes just make no logical geographic sense.
So for the NFL, they stated the last time they did realignment that they were focusing on rivalries.
Right. But that makes weird divisions.
If that's the case, then rename the divisions.
Yeah.
Don't
right.
call them South, East, West. No,
Right.
call them something else.
For example, for us here in Philadelphia, NFC East doesn't make any sense because the 3 teams are within 3 hours of each other. And then you got Dallas.
Yeah, Dallas.
But you can't take Dallas out of the division because it's everybody's most heated rival.
Yeah, I wish they would rename the division names because in the NFL, the
It's all about rivalries, yeah.
Right, the actual names don't make sense.
No.
So come up with that's what I would do with the NFL.
But you're in the process of fixing basketball, though.
Yes, right.
Okay.
And I just love this
They should
tinkering.
hire you. They should be like, hey, come fix our divisions.
Yeah, because I think you've got some things backwards. So I created an all California division.
You look like a mad scientist.
I feel
You're
like because like you see it on the board on the TV
you got
screen.
your giant corkboard with the push pins and the rope. And
and you have to try and figure out like where should the dividing line be for some of the teams.
who's in Philadelphia's? Where's Philadelphia's division? How'd that shake out?
So the Atlantic Division is for the NBA.
Did you change it up?
That has Philly, Boston, Brooklyn, New York Knicks, and I'm forgetting. Wait, I'm forgetting one.
You forgot your own divisions.
No, I'm forgetting the
The
real
actual
divisions
division.
right now. I need the board. I need to see the board. It's Boston, Philly, Brooklyn, New York. What's the fifth one? Why am I blanking on the fifth one?
I'm trying to find out for you, Rich.
Oh my God, I feel stupid. Why? Oh, I was doing so well. I had them all going. You know why? Because I was so happy with how the Western one came out.
You just completely
feel
forgot.
like-
So it's the Celtics, the Nets, the Knicks, the Sixers, and the Raptors.
Oh, Toronto. Yeah, Toronto.
So did you fix that? Because Toronto, that doesn't really.
Well, it does for the geography of it. Unfortunately,
Okay,
that
all right.
kind of stays the same. Although so my storyline, you might like this. I'm going off on a tangent, but
Go ahead.
it is real.
Just run with it.
This is real. So remember, there's this for those that aren't from Philadelphia. The Sixers are threatening to move out of South Philly.
Yeah.
They're trying to force Philadelphia to build their own
They want to
stadium
build
in Chinatown.
Right. That
Which-
makes no sense.
Which is going to cause bedlam, it's a bad idea. So what I did was I assumed that it actually did happen.
okay.
The Sixers move out. They have their own independent stadium. And then I created a new team called the South Philly Hustlers.
Okay.
And they are now the real South Philly team.
So
and-
Philadelphia has two teams
Yes.
in. Wow. I mean, that's one way to win a championship. You just stuff the ballot box.
Yeah, the Sixers are cursed anyway.
Yeah.
There's something wrong with
So wait,
them.
are the Sixers still in your world?
Yes.
Okay, so there's just two.
There's two Philadelphia basketball teams.
It's not unheard of. The Jets and the Giants, both New York.
Yeah. The
You know?
Lakers and the Clippers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
But
okay.
yeah.
All right. So Philly is the next two-team city.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm controlling the South Philly.
So are the Sixers
Hustlers.
your rival in this
Yes.
universe? In this alternate universe, like they move and
Because the
and-
Sixers have pissed me off so much.
and Rich the sports tycoon comes in. He buys up some property in South
No, I don't
Philly.
even
and-
have to.
No, you don't. You just
I
move,
literally just move into Wells Fargo.
you just move in. You buy out the lease. You're like, all right, here we go.
Yeah.
It's
Ta-da.
the South Philly Hustlers.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's how I did that division.
Nice.
And then I moved New Orleans from the Western Conference to the Eastern Conference.
that makes more sense. Yeah.
I added a Vegas team.
Okay. They want to in real life. So.
Yeah, right? I kind of did this based on things that I think are actually going to happen in the future. So
This could
timestamp this. I might be right.
He could be a modern day Nostradamus.
Yes.
You should take this as prophecy right now.
Yes. So, I just did it's I don't know. There's just something fun about tinkering with
You've
the way-
always, for as long as I've known you, you've always loved customization features in games
Yeah.
and making these completely customized leagues and players and teams and storylines.
It's like the ultimate sandbox. It's
It is.
I get
It
to
is.
be the commissioner of the NBA.
Right. Not only do you get to play as your team, but you get to mold the entire league in your vision, like some kind of weird basketball god.
Yeah, it's great. So it's just been I would recommend it just for that.
Okay,
It's just
well,
been so much fun.
There you go. NBA 2 was it
I haven't
2K?
even played a game yet.
Oh my God.
I've just been tinkering around with all this.
It's true though.
stuff.
You can really fall down a rabbit hole with customization features in games
Yeah.
like that.
Because it's just I want to know who thought of this idea.
It's a great feature.
Yeah, that should be on all the sports games.
It really should be. There should be a franchise mode, but there should be I don't know, a commissioner mode.
Yeah,
You know?
I don't know. Get on that, Madden.
Figure it out.
I want to be able to create my own NFL divisions.
That'd be really cool.
I want to fix the NFL.
I mean, back in the day, I made like Madden. Was it 2003? I made like the Ambler Dragons or something.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like every
Right.
sports game fan has tried it.
Right. All right. So
That was a tangent. But
Yeah.
speaking of sports,
right, we should get into the sports sampler.
So you're not good at sports. It's a very small part of life.
Sports. In your face. Ha ha!
Yep, sports coming at you in your face. And actually, there is actually some relatively breaking news happening now that we're talking basketball. I didn't put it in the rundown because this is something that is actually happening like right now.
Sure.
The Sixers and James Harden are in a weird, turbulent part of their relationship all of a sudden.
Okay.
Yep. James Harden was due to be a free agent this year. We all thought he was going to test the free agent market, thought he would go out on his own. But the Sixers offered James Harden a sign and trade deal in which they would sign him to a big contract so that he gets money and then
Right.
try and trade him away so the Sixers try and get some value for him. Unfortunately, it seems like most of this season, the trade talks have come to a halt. Or the Sixers haven't gotten what they thought that they would have gotten for James Harden, and they've been left in a standstill. And the general manager, Morley, came out and said that, well, if we don't trade him, well, we look forward to still having him on our team anyway.
Okay.
And that pissed off James Harden,
Oh.
who recently apparently was on an interview and said that Morley, the general manager for the Sixers, is a liar
Uh-oh.
and that he does not intend to stay in Philadelphia even if he doesn't get traded.
Wow.
So he is
he's like,
threatening a holdout.
what a disaster.
Yep.
You know,
this is all happening right now.
This reminds me of, this is not the first time that like relatively big name players have kind of been annoyed at the way the Sixers handle business.
Yeah.
Like Jimmy Butler left famously, right? James Harden now is on the outs. We also have somebody else recently, like a bigger name player that was kind of pissed at the team.
Well, Jimmy Butler's the big one.
Jimmy Butler's the
Yeah.
big one. James Harden. Okay. I thought maybe there was somebody in between those two, but
Yep.
I'm starting to see a kind of upsetting trend here.
Yeah.
I think it always circles back
Ben
to
Simmons didn't like it
Ben
here.
Simmons. I think it circles back to the thing that we always kind of touch upon, which I feel like is the real problem with the Sixers, is that they have a losing mentality. I say it time and again, but they do. They do, and nobody can convince me otherwise. That's why these guys that want to win don't want to be here.
Yeah.
They don't want to be here.
Yeah. I mean, this
Or they
team-
would figure out a way to do it.
This team was built on the process, which was just losing games when the season goes south.
yeah.
And now it's just been a colossal failure. Now it's just been constantly getting eliminated in the second round of the playoffs, not going deep.
I mean, I don't follow basketball that religiously. You tell me, am I off base?
No,
Like,
I don't.
Honestly.
No, and a matter of fact, I think a story like this strengthens the argument. It just seems like this team is cursed. Like
they could go out right now and sign any big name player, throw any amount of money at them. They'd play one season here. They'd get eliminated in the second round of the playoffs, and then they'd try to get out. That's
Yeah.
literally what's happened twice now.
Yep. And this tactic of randomly like trying to welcome James Harden coming back to the team, oh no, this is a direct misfire.
Yeah.
And the worst part is this is not what you promised. I hate to say it. James Harden is actually right. Like the whole deal was a sign and trade. It's
Right.
a tactical move that NBA teams make. It's not unheard of. This is something everybody knows happens so that the team gets value out of it. But in order to make it work, you still have to make the player happy.
Yeah.
You know, you can't all of a sudden try and swindle him,
Right.
Because now I'm not gonna play for you then.
So you see a holdout happening then.
I think James Harden has played his last game in Philadelphia. He's not coming back to the Sixers.
So what is the current situation that he's currently under contract and he
He
doesn't
signed
want
a max contract,
and he doesn't want to be? Isn't he only like 1 year into this thing?
2 years, I think.
That's pretty bad.
He was finishing the contract with Philly.
Oh man.
He was on a 4-year contract that the Nets signed him up for, and then he
Okay.
got traded. So he was finishing out the contract.
Okay, right, but he's still technically under contract right now.
Well, now he is, because they signed him to
to the max.
Yeah, because it was supposed to be a sign and trade.
Okay.
But it's not gonna. This is gonna blow up in your face.
Yeah.
Either way, like you can't all of a sudden reason with him. Oh, forget about your feelings that you wanted to play somewhere else. We'll just have you back on here. Like, no, he wanted to go somewhere else.
Oh man, this is I see now that I understand this is going to be really bad because they're like, oh,
this
in their minds they're like, okay, well, we'll do the sign and trade, but like maybe he'll be happy if we just do the sign part.
Yeah, if we just give him money. But no, the problem is he doesn't want to play in Philadelphia.
Right. You can't, if somebody really doesn't want to be there, he has, you said a max deal, max contract. There's nothing else they can give him.
Yeah.
Unless they give him the keys of the city.
Yeah.
You know, there's.
And it doubly hurts because now they're going to get low ball offers because now all the teams know that he's not going to play for the Sixers.
Look, just nuke it and start over again. Just trust the process again. Let trade Joel Embiid,
honestly,
trade James Harden, trade everyone.
So they got to figure out something with James Harden. But honestly, if you wanted to be bold, trading Joel Embiid right now.
How many first rounders could you get for Joel Embiid?
He's coming off an MVP season. It would not be I hate to say it, it would not be a bad idea.
Like
to at least look into it.
Like gut check time. Are you going to beat the top teams in the Eastern Conference? No.
Yeah.
You're just not. You can't. They've proven the past 3-4 years they can't.
Maybe, but they would.
They can't. They've proven that they can't.
They keep getting stuck in the second round.
And everybody keeps getting a year older. You got to be smart like the Patriots in football and just cut your star players before they crest that hill.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but you got to think like Bill Belichick. Like
you got to think like a year or two in advance. Like, yes, it's crazy to trade an MVP. Get your 5-6 first round picks and rebuild your team with a winning mentality instead of a losing mentality. Oh yeah.
Like, you would get a mega trade. And I'm sure there would be a team, that would go take and swing for the fences for Joel Embiid right now.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think they're in a win as much as people like to think they're in a win now position. The fact that they can't keep star talent, the fact that they keep getting eliminated in the second round, they've never placed higher than the third seed, and they clearly can't beat the first two.
Yeah, I don't know.
At some point, you got to look at yourself in the mirror and say, like, is this working?
This is why I started my own team in NBA 2K23.
South Philly Hustlers.
Yeah. Especially if they
put that on a shirt.
Especially if they make that move to Chinatown here in Philadelphia. That's going to destroy Philadelphia traffic.
That would cause chaos.
Yeah.
Where are they even going to stick it? That's a whole other topic that we'll get to when they
announce it.
When they do that. So are they doing, like, is that like official?
There's going to be a city vote on it soon, so
Jesus.
It could happen, yeah. But there you go. Breaking news there from the sports world and basketball. Sorry, way to take away from some.
No,
from
that was a good topic because I love football, but I also love ragging on the Sixers. I don't
there
know
you
why.
Go.
I just
Perfect. So with that in mind, now we can get the football.
Now we can pivot back to football. But talking about hard to keep players on teams and stuff like that, it's hard to find good running back help these days. A lot of running backs are holding out. A lot of running backs are taking below average deals because the market is just not there in the NFL. And we're picking up with the continued conversation of this with two, people would consider premier running backs signing for.
Well, one is and one was.
One is and one was, right. So the big names here, Ezekiel Elliott signing for 1 year, $6 million with the New England Patriots. But more interestingly, running back Dalvin Cook signing a 1 year, $8.6 million deal with the Jets. Now, why are we talking about 2 1-year deals? Because, like we just said, these are two of the top 10 in their position the past, handful of years. It's kind of crazy to see, given the conversation we had last week, this continued devaluation of running back. But this, more than anything, is a sign of things to come. Dalvin Cook coming off of what? I mean, like 4 straight Pro Bowl seasons. And
he's still got another year or two in his prime.
I mean, he is, how old is he? He's not old at all. He's let me see if I can find
mid-20s.
He's like he's like 28. He's still got like 2-3 years left.
Yep. Ezekiel Elliott, though, his best days are probably behind him.
Yeah, I mean, they're actually roughly the same age, but Dalvin Cook has had a better go of it than Ezekiel Elliott recently.
Zeke he doesn't have the same pop anymore.
He has not been the same. I'm looking at his stats now. He's only eclipsed 1,000 yards once in the past 3 seasons and only by 2 yards. He rushed for 1,002 yards in 2021.
He did it.
He did it. Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy to see these players who were or are perennial Pro Bowlers taking 1-year rental deals and not being able to find anything.
Yep.
You know,
It's a super young man's game now.
yeah. I mean, especially at that position where you take so much wear and tear, which is really interesting. The situation with Jonathan Taylor, to pivot to this, he's one of the last big running back holdouts. He's 24 years old. Coming off of 3 pretty good seasons.
Very good season. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the only bright spot on the Colts team right now.
Yeah, but there's been no indication that they're going to sign him.
Nope. Yeah, and
They just don't.
the Colts have
They just don't want to budge.
dug their feet in. Yeah, they do not want to pay him.
Like this is it. This is the official death knell of the running back position, right?
Yeah. I would think though the Colts. I mean, they're bringing in a rookie quarterback, Anthony Richardson. I mean, I think you would want to have top tier talent next to him in the backfield. Just
You
to
want to take
ease-
pressure
yeah.
off of your rookie.
I mean, this is really, I hate to say, it's really going to screw him over more than the Colts. I mean, this is, you're trying to develop a young quarterback, his first, game, his first season in the NFL, and you're going to throw him out there without the star running back on the team.
Who do they even have at running back? I'm like
Marlon Mack. I think that's the backup.
I'm looking at their depth chart on ESPN. It says Zach Moss, but questionable.
Moss got hurt.
And then their third stringers.
It's not even Zach Moss. He got hurt.
Oh, jeez. It says their third stringer's Deion Jackson. So maybe it is Marlon Mack now. But like Marlon Mack, he was never good.
Yeah, it's
right.
It's not looking good for the Colts. They need to get him up to speed.
Oh,
And it's so
man.
weird too because this is the same franchise that gave Andrew Luck like $20 million when he retired. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
He had like 20 million left on his contract when Andrew Luck decided to retire, and
And they're like,
Jim
sure.
Irsay's like, yeah, sure, just take it. Go
I
ahead.
think
Bon voyage. Like what?
Am I remembering correctly, or did they do that in hopes that he would come back?
Maybe.
I thought I remembered reading somewhere that they kind of like just threw money at him in hopes that he would like undecide to retire.
Yeah. Well, that didn't work because he remains retired.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just interesting to see running backs continue to take these subpar deals. Yeah, I don't think Jonathan Taylor's playing a down football this year.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see.
Indy doesn't want to sign him unless he caves like one of these running backs and takes a 1-year deal. I mean, this is everybody's like last contract. Dalvin Cook, Ezekiel Elliott, Saquon Barkley, like they're not getting another deal after this.
Or at least not for mega.
They're going to get like a league veteran minimum.
Well, yeah, like $3 million or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, crazy running back news there. But just to go back to Dalvin Cook, do you think that makes the Jets the favorite in the AFC East now? Because they've got a crazy 1-2 punch now with the sophomore Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook. That's your 1-2 running combo.
Breece Hall was getting it done by himself last year before he got hurt. So this year, with the addition of Dalvin Cook, even with the off-the-field issues, that is a terrifying combination.
Yeah.
They got Aaron Rodgers to sling it. They brought in Rodgers' favorite target. They still have a pretty staunch defense. That is a formidable team all of a sudden taking shape in New York. Now, I know you mentioned to me off the air that their offensive line is a weakness.
Yeah.
But, I'm wondering with this many weapons, you might be able to disguise lackluster offensive line play if you can get it out quick enough with somebody like Rodgers and keep the defense on their heels because of the ground attack and the weapons on the outside. That division's gonna be tough.
Yep.
And I hate to pivot back to the Patriots again, but they are looking more and more like they're sitting in the basement on this one.
Yeah. I
don't see a way for them to get out of fourth.
Yeah, I think the Patriots are stuck at fourth.
It's gonna be like I think the Bills are 1, and I think that Miami and the Jets just like
they're fighting for 2.
just like eviscerate and cannibalize each other. Like it is going to be a bloodbath in that division.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to miss the playoffs at like 10 wins this year.
Well, definitely looking like the Patriots are going to be outside looking in.
Yeah.
So there you go. Crazy AFC East news there. Speaking of more drama happening, Trey Lance had his debut in the preseason this past weekend, and he did not look good.
Yeah, I mean, debut is one way to put it.
Yeah.
Another way to put it is just that I don't think he knows how to play football.
Yeah.
So this is a shocking stat alert. This came to light today. San Francisco quarterback Trey Lance has less pass attempts in his entire football life, not career, his entire football life, that's high school through the NFL, than Geno Smith had all of last season.
The evidence has been falsified.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
the Trey Lance evidence has been falsified.
The evidence has been falsified.
somebody crunched the numbers, and they went back and they looked at all of his pass attempts. That's not completions. That's just attempts in general. And they found that he, in his entire life, has only attempted 590 passes, 591 to be exact. Geno Smith in 2022 attempted 607 between the regular season and playoffs.
Yep.
So,
Wow.
99 pass attempts in high school, 318.
Trey Lance only had 1 year in college, and then he was supposed to play in 2020, but then COVID hit, so he didn't
and then
play
he
that
decided to go into the draft.
year.
Gets taken third overall.
Yep.
But this kid has less than 600 pass attempts from high school through today.
Yep. He was going to be the starter last year, got hurt in the preseason, never played it down, and now he is the third string quarterback, it looks like, for the 49ers, because they're saying Sam Darnold is edging him out. Sam Darnold's going to be the backup to Brock Purdy.
You know, here's the tough thing is that you can't really make an argument otherwise because Sam Darnold has way more experience at this point.
Yep.
I mean, it's just a matter of who's more comfortable throwing the football right now. And you can't convince people that somebody who's only attempted 590 passes in his entire life is ready to start an NFL game.
Yeah. I mean, or at least ready to lead the NFL team.
Right.
Because he started an NFL game, but he's never been like leading
I feel
the
like
team.
started is like a relative term.
That's true.
Like he went out on the field first.
Yeah. that's what it is.
But I mean, what do they do with him now? I mean, that's always the question. Every single year with San Francisco, what do they do with their like 17 starting caliber quarterbacks? They have a high draft pick and somebody who they like and somebody who they previously traded for and somebody who they previously like.
They gave up so much for him. I think they got to be content with just keeping him on the roster, because I don't know if a team's going to come by and wow him on a trade offer for a third string quarterback.
Yeah, I can't imagine some team being like, "Oh, we desperately want your third stringer."
Yeah.
Like, I mean, what is his realistic value? A sixth, seventh rounder, maybe?
Ugh.
If you were a GM, what's the most you would give up for Trey Lance? Like, you need, I don't know why you're trading for him, but you either think he's the next hot thing, or you need
your quarterback went down,
or your quarterback went down. You need a backup. What's the most you're willing to give up as a GM?
I don't know.
Like, does
a third rounder? Maybe you got a comp pick back.
Man, I don't know. I wouldn't go higher than a fifth. I would just turn to San Fran and be like, you're clearly never going to use him.
Yeah.
And like we know that. Like, if I'm another GM, I'm like, you're never starting this kid.
Yeah.
Like, he is third on your team, and he hasn't thrown. Geno Smith came out of like almost basic like non-existence to throw.
Geno Smith won comeback player of the year.
He threw 600 passes.
He didn't get hurt. Geno
No.
Smith just went into oblivion and then came back, and he won comeback player of the year.
Yeah.
It wasn't an injury.
Right. He didn't have like some tragedy to befall him, some life struggle. He just was like
Vanished.
not a thing.
He went into the Bermuda Triangle, which was the Jets.
Yeah.
And then he came back out, and they gave him an award.
This guy threw more passes than Trey Lance has in his entire life.
Yeah, literally.
So I don't know.
It's looking pretty iffy with Trey Lance. I don't know what you do with him. I think you just hold on to him.
You just be like, hey, he knows the offense.
At least he's on a rookie contract.
He's on a rookie contract. He knows the offense. Right now, he's not prohibitively expensive. But as he gets further in that rookie deal and the numbers start climbing, they have to make a decision because this is heading into, what, year 3?
Yeah, so he's got at least 2 years.
So next year, right, and all the contracts are backloaded, so next year he'll get paid a little more, and then if they decide to take the 5th-year option, you know.
Yeah, then they can cut him then.
Yeah. So
Oof.
just
That hurts.
a weird stat with Trey
3
Lance.
first-rounders they traded for him.
That's
That hurts.
painful. That's painful. But sunk cost fallacy. It's already spent. So if you want to free up a roster spot, just do it. Just cut him or trade him.
Yeah.
Don't, there's no sense crying over spilled milk of the first rounders now. They're gone.
Yeah. And we have one last bit of football news to get to.
Yeah, this one's weird and lengthy, but I'm going to try and summarize it for everyone. So, do you remember offensive tackle Michael Oher from The Blind Side?
Yeah, the Blind Side movie.
Yeah. So, the basic gist of it is that this young black high schooler who's fallen on hard times needs a place to live, and a wealthy white family adopts him, and they help him turn his life around. And
I'm a special kind of white guy.
that was the family.
Basically that.
Yeah.
I'm a special kind of white guy.
That was Sandra Bullock in the movie.
Yeah.
She won an Emmy for not an Emmy, an Academy
Oscar.
Award
Yep.
for Best Actress.
That bitch.
So anyway, they help him turn his life around and realize his dream of becoming a football player is all very heartwarming because they adopt him. He's like, oh great, I have like a loving family now. They're like, oh, we help this young man who we really love. Unfortunately, it's a lot of lies.
Yeah, dramatic twist here.
So this is really upsetting. This is actually really legitimately upsetting to hear because Michael Oher now claims, he alleges, that the family didn't actually adopt him in 2004. Instead, they tricked him into signing a conservatorship, which we remember from the whole
Britney Spears fiasco.
thing. Is like a big deal. Basically, you give away all of your rights, and your conservators have the ability to make financial decisions about your life and make business dealings on your behalf. And this is unsettling because in 2006, just 2 years after he signs this conservatorship, they have the book that features this story, and then in 2009, they have the movie. And movies don't happen overnight.
Yeah.
And
it takes
neither
some time.
do books.
Yep.
So now I'm looking at this and I'm like, could it really be that insidious? Could they really be like, hey, here's this kid. We could profit off of this story. Like, I don't know. I don't know the timeline of events, but like that's the thing that pops into my head. Like the timing is super weird. 2 years between signing it and the book, and then, the movie comes out in 2009. I'm just thinking about the timeline, right?
Yeah.
So the allegations go on that Oher says his adoptive family all received over $200,000 each. That's the two parents and the two biological children, in addition to a percentage of the movie profits, while he received nothing. The family counters by saying that they received a flat rate and that they shared everything with Oher. And now this is actually breaking. It's not in the rundown, but they also said that Oher attempted a shakedown of the family before coming public with these allegations to try and get, I guess, some money out of them. They also say that the conservatorship was necessary in order for him to participate in collegiate sports, because he needed a family and an address or whatever. I don't know what their excuse is, but they couldn't legally adopt him since he was over 18, so they had to sign a conservatorship. The whole thing stinks to me.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it adds up.
Like something, I don't know what is off, but something is off.
Yeah.
I don't know. What's your gut reaction to this? Have you
Yeah.
seen The Blind Side? Everybody's seen The Blind Side, right?
I saw clips of it. I don't know.
Oh, you never seen it?
I've never seen it
It's
from
a
like
good-
start to finish. Like
Okay.
I've seen like clips and
It's a-
on TV.
It's a good, if problematic film,
yeah.
but
And I'm not a big
Yeah.
fan of Sandra Bullock, so
my dad loves her for some reason. I've never seen the appeal.
Yeah,
Like she's
I don't
just
get it.
an actress.
right.
I don't know.
I don't get it.
Mm.
But I feel like somebody in this dilemma is lying out of their ass. So if this does go to court, then we're gonna find out, because I think the simplest way to figure this out is show proof of who got paid and when.
Yeah,
That's gonna be the deciding factor.
There's got to be a paper trail. They're going to be able to dig it up. And I mean, the conservatorship is real, and that's part of the charges that he's pressing. He's like, I want to get out of this conservatorship because it's still, I guess, in place, which is
it doesn't stop.
No, it doesn't stop, and it's kind of insane because he's had a whole professional NFL career. Like,
yeah, he should be out. If there is one, he should be out of it. Yeah.
Yeah. I love how Britney Spears like brought to public knowledge the concept of conservatorships. And now, like, I don't know if it's just like recency bias. Now it's like you just see them around.
Well, it sounds
you
like
hear people being tricked into them. And
right, because it sounds like a good idea to have.
Right.
You know, but really,
if somebody needs it.
Yeah.
But, like, these are situations where, like, this kid was tricked into it at like 19.
But I think the problem is that conservatorships aren't reviewed yearly. There should be like an annual review of like, does this person still need the conservatorship?
Right, exactly.
And that falls apart. They don't have that system in place.
Right.
Like Britney Spears probably needed it. I think we can
She needed it at first, definitely.
She needed it at first. Like I think we can all agree to that.
I think at this stage she probably doesn't, and I think that Michael Oher doesn't either. I mean, I can't imagine they would need it at this point.
Right. So that's the problem with conservatorships. There needs to be some sort of annual review to see does it still need to be in effect.
Yeah. So I hope that the truth comes to light. I hope that it's not as insidious as it sounds. You know, there's a lot of allegations flying back and forth between the two groups. So if anything breaks on it, we'll keep everybody updated. But just a very disheartening thing to read about and see happen because I don't like the implications here if the family did what Oher is alleging.
Yeah.
Because that would be truly despicable. Be like, here's a kid who needs help, but we're going to turn a buck doing it. Like, that's, I don't know. We'll see.
Speaking of doing stuff despicable, I'm gonna venture away from football.
It's just one controversy after another.
Yeah, and let's go into the wonderful world of golf.
I'm a special kind of white guy.
And that is appropriate.
You're getting a lot of a lot of play with that clip.
I'm a special kind of white guy.
So far it's been fitting.
That is appropriate because we're going to talk about Phil Mickelson. And there are some startling allegations that came out about his gambling career. Heavy air quotes here, professional gambler.
Yeah, what does professional gambler mean?
Yeah, it's very heavy air quotes there. But he did write a book, Billy Waters, and he alleges in this new book that he's a friend of Phil Mickelson. And he says that Mickelson is letting on less about his gambling problems that we know about. We know to a degree that Phil Mickelson is a fan of the casinos and fan of sports book, and he loves to place the bet here and there.
That is news to me, but interesting.
He's been honest that he's had some problems with gambling and that he likes to do it and
okay,
and all that stuff. But according to Billy Waters, they are far worse than anybody knew to the public eye.
Wow.
And I have some accusations here from his book. And if these are true, then Phil Mickelson does have a serious gambling problem, and he needs help now, if this is the case. But according to Billy Waters, his first accusation is that during the calendar year of 2011, Mickelson made over 3,000 different bets, which would be an average of 9 bets a day.
Man, I don't know about you, but that is like a chilling number.
Yeah.
Making 9 bets a day.
Yeah. That's crazy.
3,000 bets.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That's a lot to keep a hold of, too, with all the receipts and stuff like that.
Yeah, because they didn't have FanDuel.
You're right.
Back in 2011.
Right. This is 12 years ago. Yeah.
Man.
He also makes the accusation that between 2010 and 2014, Mickelson made 7,000 wagers on NFL, NBA, and Major League Baseball games, including a day where he wagered significant money around $100 to $200K on every one of the 13 MLB games that was being played on that day.
Is that $100 to $200K on each one? Or
yes.
On each one?
Right. So altogether, he was risking roughly $2 million.
I mean, Yeah, I mean anywhere from 1.3 million to 2.6 million dollars. That's insane.
Yep. Mickelson, another accusation here is that Mickelson also looked into the legality of placing a $400,000 bet on his own U.S. team in the Ryder Cup golf tournament. And it actually took Waters, according to his story, to remind him of the Pete Rose gambling fiasco. And at which point Mickelson then decided not to go forward with the bet on his team.
Well, I've always thought it was funny if you bet on yourself, you're kind of like, yeah, I believe in myself. I don't think that I weirdly believe you should be able to bet on yourself.
Yeah.
But I understand the gray ethical integrity aspect of it. But $400,000, that's wild.
Yeah, that is a ridiculous sum of money. Let's keep it going because Waters, quote, knows that Mickelson has lost $100 million in career gambling debts and that he has probably wagered close to $1 billion altogether in his total lifetime sports bets.
What? $1 billion in
wagered.
I
So that means
I can't even fathom
So if you were to take his first bet that he made to now in terms of the money he risked, Waters claims it's around $1 billion.
There's gambling problems. There's gambling addiction. I don't know what this is. This is $1 billion.
Yeah.
Like, even the most notorious gamblers, I don't think, have wagered that kind of money. You think like Michael Jordan's ever wagered that kind of money? $1 billion?
No, I don't know about $1 billion. That seems very high.
That's an insane amount.
I mean, Jordan is known for his gambling.
He's
stunts,
a known,
But I don't know about the B word. That's a pretty high marker.
That's for anyone. That's insane. That's very troubling. How does he? And he knows this just because he operates in the same circles as Mickelson. Then I guess.
Right. And the word troubling is very appropriate for this next statement because the Live Tour has been using Phil Mickelson as one of their premier players that they stole from the PGA. They've been promoting him as like a star talent on their roster. Is there a little bit of a backdoor deal here where maybe, did Saudi Arabia not only give the big contract to Phil Mickelson, but also, maybe took care of some of his bigger debts?
Wow.
I mean, you can't rule it out now. I mean, if any of these accusations are even somewhat true, that is a dangerous road to go down with Saudi Arabia and the Live Tour conveniently coming out of the woodwork and offering Phil Mickelson a contract in his mid-50s.
I mean, he was the first big domino to fall.
Yeah. It gets into some dicey territory if this line of thinking continues.
And I remember when we all saw the headline, we were like, whoa. Like, he's like one of the biggest golfers of all time. It's kind of weird that he would just
defect,
flip like that easily. It does make it weird that he would, and at the time we chalked it up to, just ride off into the sunset with the big fat paycheck to the casino, I guess, because he needs some way to. I mean, look, if nothing else, it funds the habit, which is a whole other ethical quandary. But there's like so much going on here because, I mean, if what they're implying is true, I mean, I don't know. Is that like a legal issue to take money from like Saudi? I don't know. Like,
it can't be.
We're dealing with like other like state governments here. Like
it can't be. This could potentially get very nasty.
So like ethically, like legally, like sports integrity wise, like there's so many different layers of effed upness to this story.
Yeah. Now, again, we have to say that these are all allegations, and
this is coming from what was it? A professional gambler.
Yeah, and
who knows him.
And I do have to put the disclaimer on that. Billy Waters was actually arrested in a insider trading scheme that also had ties to Trump, which is
interesting. Okay, so
so
he's
there
just
are
taking everybody down with him.
There are some big question marks in terms of his accountability. But if any of these items are even remotely true, this is bad for Mickelson.
It's bad for Mickelson. It may be bad for golf as well. I mean, this is like one of their, or was one of their, like, shining stars. Like,
Well, on the contrary, though, if you love smack talk, I think this is great because they asked Rory McIlroy about this Phil Mickelson news story, and he's been on the other side of the aisle. He's been PGA's staunch defender during this golf civil war. He's been pro PGA all the way. He doesn't like people that went to Live Tour. And he simply said, well, at least Phil can bet on the Ryder Cup this year because he won't be a part of it. Oh, that's
ouch.
in the golf world. That's
a lay in the smackdown.
That's a mic drop. That's pretty significant.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
that's pretty harsh. I mean, for golf, I mean,
he
this
might
is,
as well just said, yeah, F him.
yeah.
You know,
Man,
So-
those are some harsh words, and yeah, I mean, this is, if anything, it's gonna definitely
smack talk
boost PGA's public profile, though.
a little bit. I think
After losing a lot of ground to Live, they can be like, hey, at least we don't deal with these rapscallions.
Yeah, at least we don't have blood money coming in.
Yeah. Oh man,
Yeah.
this is quite the controversial sports segment. And I mean, like, allegations flying everywhere.
Yeah,
Every which way.
But last but not least, the golf world. That blew me away, especially for Phil Mickelson. That is Phil Mickelson. He's been open that he's had some gambling issues and gambling problems, but that is a whole new scope.
Is he just being open to, like, throw people off the scent of the real story?
Maybe, I don't know, but
And also, we keep joking about it, but whoever makes the dark side of the green.
yes, do it.
I'm serious. Like, the past year and a half of golf, I'm here for it.
Yes.
I usually don't care,
There-
but, like, I'm here for the drama and the turmoil.
Yes,
I love it.
There should be a documentary. But for right now, we're gonna have to leave it be to the Vice people to do that, because for right now we got to take a break and get ready for entertainment news, and then odd news coming your way when we return from the break. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here on the Crispy Noodle Podcast.
Ready for the weekend? Happy Friday. Hi, my name's Marie, and I'm an artist who's been making Happy Friday doodles every week for over 7 years. And now you can own my art collection in this Volume 1 and Volume 2 art series. These doodles span across multiple themes, yearly festivities, various countries, languages, and more. Both coffee table books have something for everyone and are the perfect conversation starter or gift for a friend. Really, anyone who enjoys a good weekend. Available on Amazon, Ingram, BookBaby, Barnes & Noble, and more. Visit happyfridaydoodles.com/books and get your copies today. Let's celebrate the best day of the week. Happy Friday.
If you go to Taco Bell at 3 a.m, this is what you're gonna get. Yeah,
That clip is already coming into play.
yes,
I love it.
already. So there you go.
Stop.
What happened?
The thing went on.
Well, how did that turn on? That was
I don't
weird.
know. The fart sound.
The fart sound turned Amazon on?
I think the fart sound turned on my Echo.
What the
I
hell?
don't know. It turned on.
What are you doing, Jeff Bezos? What are you into?
Basically, he's listening to fart sounds.
He's listening to our fart sounds. Oh my god.
I changed the trigger word to fart. I got to fart at it now. I don't know what happened.
That's really awkward. You're gonna have to. Excuse me.
Excuse me. How can I help you?
You may need some bowel.
Do you want me to automatically order you Pepto-Bismol? I don't know why. I don't know why I'm talking to it solely through farts now.
It actually, you fart into it.
Fart
and-
once for yes and twice for no.
No. Actually, you fart into the device, and then
Yeah.
Amazon can determine what
you-
medicine you need.
Oh, right. Wow. That's next level right there. Or what you've been eating and what you want to reorder.
Oh.
I detect Cheetos. Would you like? Would you like to subscribe?
Would you like a bulk order of Cheetos?
Oh, yes, please.
Cheetos ordered.
That story took a turn.
Yeah.
Cheetos ordered.
Okay. All right. There you go. The latest from Jeff Bezos and Amazon.
It's amazing technology, I tell you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we're back here on the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Yeah, I think for the foreseeable future, especially with the NFL season coming back around, I think it might be sports main course and then like entertainment salad or something. Because
the side salad.
Yeah, the entertainment entree is going to be replaced with the entertainment side salad.
I mean, at this rate, could definitely be the case because, well, we'll get into it, but there's definitely going to be a certain drop-off in content to talk about.
That's right. But nevertheless, we'll still officially kick off the entertainment entree right here, right now.
And now, the latest in movies.
The Simpson guy writes to movies. Dear Die Hard, you rock. Especially when that guy was on the roof.
Music.
I know what that is. That's music.
Video games.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
Celebrities.
You really know Warren Beatty?
Yes, I do. I took a leak next to him once at the Golden Globes.
And more.
You were the all singing, all dancing crap of the world.
This is the entertainment entree.
All right, entertainment entree officially loaded up. And let's talk about the strike. We got some updates for this week. What do you got, Mike?
Yeah, so as everyone knows, we are still in the middle of a complete Hollywood shutdown. The Writers Guild of America is striking. The Screen Actors Guild is striking. And it's caused a shutdown. Meanwhile, the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers, the AMPTP, is... They are desperately, at this point, trying to get people back to work because the writers have been on strike now over 100 days.
This is crazy, yeah.
3.5 months. And now, going on record, Disney and Netflix CEOs have recently indicated they absolutely want the strike to end. They're willing to meet some demands or bend on some demands. This is a big shift to what they've previously been saying. But...
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, I mean, small, very, very small applause because
Yeah.
they need to bend way more because this update actually just changed, Rich, from the one that I have written
Oh,
here.
no.
Because the
So what is it?
Well, so there was a new deal on the table from the studios that included concessions on issues like the use of AI, access to viewer data, etc. Big sticking points for the WGA. But they were meeting today, and as recently as at the time of the recording, Tuesday evening, like 6 p.m., it doesn't look like the WGA is going to take the deal. They are willing to bend on some of the studio's concessions, but some of the other ones, they are still not willing to meet them. Apparently, the studios...
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, they are still sticking strong with some of these points. So what I'll do is I'll talk about the previous points that the studios presented and the WGA response. So the studios said that they will ensure humans are credited as writers of screenplays rather than replacing them with AI. I think that language doesn't go far enough. Okay, you can credit the writer, but how about, like, continue to use humans and pay them? because
It is so bizarre that we have to specifically mention humans.
Yeah, I
Must
don't
be humans.
I don't know that I like this future that we're heading into.
Yeah.
But the studios were also willing to share data on the number of hours viewed on streaming services so writers can kind of gauge how popular their programs are. They did, however, mention that the numbers would not correlate to compensation.
Yeah,
So
then what's the point of it?
What's the point? They're like, oh, here you go. 1 million people watched Stranger Things. And then the writer's like, can we get a bit more? They're like, nope.
Nope, that does not correlate.
So, yeah, people online are saying, but they can use it as leverage in negotiations. I don't think it goes far enough, and I think the Guild doesn't think it goes far enough either. They were also, the studios, offering more than a 20% increase in residual payments made to writers when shows appear on networks other than the original one they were made for. Can anybody out there read between the lines and tell me what the problem is with that statement in relation to streaming services? The shows don't go on other networks.
Yeah.
There are no networks. Stranger Things stays on Netflix.
Yeah.
It doesn't go to Disney Plus. It doesn't go to NBC primetime television. They also. The evidence has been falsified. I feel like I'm in like crazy land over here. I'm like reading these things and I'm like, I can see between the lines that this is not beneficial to writers at all. The studios also proposed salary increases and minimum duration for work for mini writers' rooms. This is a new concept, the concept of a mini room, which I just learned about today, which is kind of crappy on the studio's part. They will get a small number of writers to basically storyboard a season of a TV show and hash out all the plots and everything. They will pay those writers. This happens before the show is picked up or renewed. Then they get rid of them. And then they bring in new writers for the show when it's actually picked up. And those new writers then have to pick up the threads that the mini writers' room laid out. And writers don't like this because if you get picked up for a mini room, there's no guarantee you're going to work on the series.
Why would that be of use? That why?
To quickly churn out pitches and pilots for cheap, because they usually bring in amateur or just, starting out writers to hash out all these story beats. Then they get rid of them and then bring in the other writers because you don't have to pay for rewrites. You don't have to pay for revisions. It's like two separate contracts. You can pay like low level workers very little to basically create your entire story and then bring in other guys to, flesh it out then. It's like everything about this is so, like this whole episode is just controversy and despicable things one after another.
America.
Exactly. So those were some of the proposals that were on the table, and that's no longer of use because the WGA, they're not biting. So the studios were optimistic about it, but it seems like the WGA, they're just, they said that any hopes for an easy resolution were quickly dispelled. They did bend slightly. I'm reading directly from a Variety article here, by the way. They did bend slightly on some of them, but the union negotiators did not offer the significant concessions that the studio side was looking for in response to its offer. So there's still that stalemate there. The Guild is pushing, it's holding to its proposal for minimum staff sizes. So they want, they don't want to, have crazy small or crazy large writer rooms. They want there to be like a consistent number. They're unimpressed with the studio's offer to give showrunners the authority to hire a certain number. They want it increased based on the production budget, which makes sense to me. And there's a whole bunch of issues that they're not seeing eye to eye on. And the WGA is going so far as to warn members not to trust studio leaks, suggesting that a deal was at hand. So it seems like the studios really desperately want the public perception to be that a deal was close, where it seems like that's not actually the case here. And they still want to tie streaming residuals to the popularity of the show. And that is just something that the studios will not budge on. And I think that is one of their biggest sticking points, because that is how the writers are making their money. It's not on the rundown, but there was a news report that total TV usage on traditional TV has finally, for the first time, fallen below 50%. That means more than 50% of people are only watching TV on streaming platforms.
Yep.
So securing increased residuals on streaming shows is absolutely essential if writers are going to continue to find gainful employment and continue to make the content that we love to consume clearly on Netflix and Disney Plus and Peacock, even though it's crap.
Yeah. And it looks like there's no end in sight because the Emmys are being pushed into the new year. So
yeah,
this looks like it's still going to be a drawn-out battle.
So like you said, coming into the segment, I mean, that was the only entertainment news that was really of note.
Yeah.
It's
Except
getting to
for one more thing.
Well, of course, the most important thing.
I finally saw Barbie.
Yes, you did.
So I can now have a discussion about Barbie. Yeah, we got like a 5-minute gap here.
Sure. Let's talk. Well, let's talk about Barbie. I already gave my views a few weeks ago, but what did you think about Barbie seeing it for the first time?
It was better than I thought, going into the movie. There are some...
You didn't trust me it was going to be good?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what
it
to
is
expect.
A tough sell. You're like, go watch Barbie. To like a 30-some-year-old man, it's like,
yeah.
Why? But
there were some parts that are legitimately funny. There's... I gotta say, I think the secret star of this movie is Ken. Why did I forget his name?
I don't know.
Ryan Gosling.
Oh, Ryan Gosling.
I want to say Ryan Reynolds, not Ryan Reynolds.
No,
he's Deadpool. But Ryan Gosling, I was really impressed with his acting and his singing and his dancing in this movie. I really liked the Ken song near the end.
Is the I'm just Ken?
Yeah, in any other world I'd be a 10. Yeah, it was. I gotta admit, I liked that part of the movie.
Yeah.
The set design is fantastic. Style wise, it's
crazy,
on point.
Right? It was amazing.
Yeah. So on those notes and some of the comedy bits, it was better than I expected. I gotta admit though, some of the jabs, like I don't know. I wish some of the film criticism jabs and the stereotypical jabs at guys. I wish Greta Gerwig would have toned it down a little bit because some of it is it's really laid on thick. It's like super groan inducing. If you had scaled it back just a little bit and made it a little bit more tolerable, I think you would have gotten a better response. I think the movie would have been around like a 7.58, but those bits made me groan. So like I overall I'd give it like a 6.5. I think that's,
really? Okay.
Yeah, I think that's where I finally land when it comes to this movie.
Wow.
There's some good parts, but some of those elements just is major eye rolling. There's major eye rolls in some of those parts.
I will say that there was a point in the movie where. So, I mean, spoilers for anybody who wants to still go see the movie.
Official spoiler?
Oh, yeah, sure.
It's a spoiler! Woo! It's a spoiler! Don't listen! Go away!
Yeah, sorry if we're going to spoil Barbie for you.
Yeah, so, I strongly recommend everybody go see it because I view it more favorably than you do. I give it like a solid 8 out of 10. I thought that the humor was really good almost entirely throughout. Like you said, the set design, the costume design, everything was on point. The music was good. But I do agree there was a point in the movie where I'm sitting there and I'm going, is it really just going to be that the guys are the bad guys? Because it was like kind of gearing it up to be like, oh, we have to like take down the Kens. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm okay with it just being as simple as like girl power, take down the guys. I did appreciate though there was an acknowledgement, the fact that these systems are not just the whole joke is that like Ken discovers the patriarchy, and that he uses it to take over Barbie land, right? And he has a Mojo Dojo Casa house, and he has horses everywhere. I mean, come on, that was funny. That was funny.
Yeah,
the patriarchy is just horses. I'm like,
funny.
okay, I'm like, but then there's this sort of subtle twist or turn there where Barbie goes and apologizes to Ken as well. And that song, like, where he's singing, I'm just Ken, anywhere else I'd be a 10. It's kind of touching on that thing, like, the patriarchy, yes, obviously is harmful to women, but also is harmful to men as well. And I think that was kind of the subtle point that a lot of the critics, like Ben Shapiro, gave his 43-minute takedown, which I didn't watch. But I think that's where they're missing the mark.
Look, we're two grown men. We are talking about Barbie here, but at most we're giving like 5 or 10 minutes to this.
Right. There's no
Ben
reason.
Shapiro gave what, a 43-minute dissertation on this
about why he dislikes
Dear God,
it. Which is,
you've got issues.
Yeah.
43 minutes is a little insane.
That is a little insane. He's got a bug up his butt.
Yeah.
But I think they're missing that subtle nuance that, like, the patriarchy is damaging to the men too, because Ken identifies himself by his job. He's good at beach.
Yeah. Not lifeguard, not swimming. I'm good at beach.
Like, so,
like, see, there are parts that are really actually pretty funny.
But think about just everybody put on our thinking caps for a second, where he talks about how he's boiled down to his job. He talks about how he's boiled down to his looks. How he thinks that he can only find any sort of worth based on whether or not the Barbies are paying attention to him. So, like, the patriarchy negatively impacts them as well. And so at the end, when Barbie apologizes to him, it was a nice kind of balancing where it's like, okay, it's not just about dismantling the patriarchy. It's also understanding that, the Kens have feelings too, and that they're more than their beach job and their abs and whether or not Barbie pays attention to them. That they are Knuff, right?
Knuff, yeah.
Knuff, if I'm saying that right. So, like, I did like that little bit of nuance, but I think that you're right. In Act 2, it felt like it wasn't going to get there. And I was getting a little nervous. I was like, it can't be that simple, right? And I think it did pull it back a little bit for me at the end, where it kind of redeemed that path that it was going down. So that's why it's an 8 out of 10 for me, because I think it did land that little bit of nuance there at the end. But it was a little shaky there for a minute in Act 2.
Yeah, to me, a lot of those culture criticism are very groan-inducing. I think it lays it on way too thick. And I think it takes away from the movie. Also, near the end of the movie, there's like kind of a really serious moment with the creator of Barbie, with the Barbie.
Yeah.
I don't know about you. I thought that got weirdly serious, weirdly dramatic. I don't know.
I kind of appreciated the message, but I do think, though, that it was a little
it didn't seem like tonally that matched the film.
Yeah, it was definitely like tonally there was a big shift there, and I'm sitting there in the theater, I'm like, oh wow, this is like emotionally powerful, but at the same time in my head I'm like okay, this is like emotionally powerful, but this is like weird.
Yeah, I thought it was a weird way to end the movie. Yeah. Like she's going on about how it's like now it's your journey, and I'm gonna go off into the maker's like, I'm gonna go off into the light now. Like, it was like, what the, like, it turned weirdly serious, dramatic.
I kind of just suspended disbelief, and I'm like, I'm just gonna listen to the words and not think too hard about like this weird Matrix like.
That's another thing too. Did you notice there were so many Matrix references in this movie?
It was, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how many I caught, but like it felt very Matrix.
I'm not like against it, but I was just really surprised. Like the Greta Gerwig either love or hate the Matrix, because there are so many Matrix references in the Barbie movie. There's like the weird drama in the cubicles that where like Barbie's dodging the agents. Very similar to Neo dodging the agents in the Matrix. There's the hall that leads to like nowhere but a whole bunch of doors, like Matrix 2. Like there's the red pill and the blue pill thing.
Yeah. Like, I mean, for me, it was.
I was like, why is there so many Matrix references in this movie?
The thing that popped into my head was when she meets the creator. For some reason, I literally in the theater, I thought back to the scene where they meet that little old lady.
The Oracle.
Yeah,
that is. Could be another take.
I'm like, why does this feel like I've seen this scene before? It was like
It's like the Matrix. It was like there was so many Matrix-y things.
It was either like a combination of Dumbledore in the 8th movie and the Oracle from the Matrix, and I'm like, you're right. Tonally, it was a hard shift.
Yeah,
I think message-wise, it sticks the landing, but it was a jarring moment, definitely.
Yeah, I think it's a little rough.
Yeah, I still view it a little bit more favorably because I think taken as a whole with those pieces accounted for, I think that the sum of its parts are greater than it because, like other elements like this chase sequence, the action sequences, like this is like totally unnecessary. Like, I don't know why they had like a whole car chase in the middle of the movie. Yeah, they did. So like there's some elements that like that's what knocks it down to an 8 for me is the hard tonal shift, the weird action sequences, but I think what raises it to an 8 is its subtle handling of a nuanced topic, and I think it loses its way a little bit, but I think ultimately it sticks the landing for me. But I mean, regardless of people's interpretation of that aspect, I think it's still a fun movie to go check out. You know, I mean, I don't know. It seems like maybe you are not as
I would
eager about it.
I'd say if it wasn't for the whole culture, if it wasn't for the whole kind of this swept up movement with Barbie and Barbieheimer, if it wasn't for that, I'd say you probably could have left this movie at home.
Really?
I don't think.
Wow.
Yeah. I'd still.
I'm just saying, look for it to be in awards season. It's going to be there.
I would give it a 6.5.
Wow. All right.
I think that's a fair spot, in my opinion.
Okay. All right. Well, slightly differing opinions on Barbie, but still one of the biggest movies of the summer and definitely will be around at awards season. So just keep.
I did like Ryan Gosling, though.
Keep an eye or half an eye on it.
Yeah. All right, but we got to move right into the final part of the show. Time for some odd news.
We've been talking about cool and its ramifications and how it applies to the hip scene. But maybe you could give us some examples now of the opposite of cool, uncool. Just exactly what is uncool?
My nipples look like milk duds.
Holy shnikes.
It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
It's not of this world. I don't know exactly what it is or what it's doing, but this is not human intelligence, okay? It's not human intelligence we're facing.
How you doing? Me? I'm doing great.
I don't make this stuff up.
I'll take a pound of nuts.
That's a lot of nuts. That'll be $4, baby. You want fries with that? I seen the celery dance across the baseball fields.
You had me at Meat Tornado.
No, go past this. Past this part. In fact, never play this again.
Okay. What does that mean?
And now it's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
So sit back, get everything you need to get from the kitchen. Be sure and empty the bladders. Go to the bathroom because you're in for a hell of a ride.
Woo! Odd news.
That's right, everyone. It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news here in this segment. Rich researches the news, he reads the news, and I react to the news. He finds a weird and wacky story and keeps it hidden from me, which ensures that all of my reactions are my genuine gut reactions to hearing these stories for the very first time. I don't know what's about to happen. You guys don't know what's about to happen. And even Rich doesn't know what's about to happen because these stories always take us down wacky and wild paths. And I'm ready to get started. Where are we heading to and why?
Why? You know it is. It's time. We got to get back to Florida.
Now, who is this guy in Florida?
It's Florida, and they're crazy.
Oh, yeah.
We took a nice little detour. Where did we go? We went international last week, didn't we? Where were we?
It was Japan because we talked about the Japanese man that wanted to be a dog last week.
That's right.
So
yeah,
check that episode out.
We caught the red eye flight. We
Yep.
made it back from Japan. We're in Florida
just in
now.
time for some Florida odd news.
Awesome.
Nothing,
all right.
Nothing like homegrown Florida odd
right,
news.
Exactly. So what do you got for us? What's happening in Florida?
All right. We're going to talk about the case of 34-year-old Andres Perez. Cops say that they were called to Andres Perez's house after a disturbance call was placed. Andre and his wife had been arguing about financial and infidelity issues when things got violent. But instead of fisticuffs or weapons or anything like that. Andres had a unique weapon on him.
Okay.
He had a bag of McDonald's cheeseburgers that he had recently picked up, and he decided to just pelt his wife with the McDonald's cheeseburgers at her.
You makes me very, very mad. You eat the cheeseburger and smoke the crack?
So I just want to. By the way, I just want to know, just before we get more into the story, how many? If you're just going to do a cheeseburger, how many cheeseburgers are you ordering from McDonald's?
Are we talking?
They're small. I'm talking about like the small ones, the ones that are
small,
on
like
$2 or
the
something.
beef, the cheese, and the bun, not like a quarter pounder.
Right. We're not right. We're talking about the. They're not called dollar menu.
Right.
I don't know. Whatever the
it's just
budget.
like the standard like Mick cheeseburger or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Because he apparently bought a lot of these in a bag, and that's what he's pelting the wife with.
I mean, it's such a curious choice to just get the cheeseburgers. But I mean, if I'm just eating the cheeseburgers,
I mean, at that point, they're just like sliders.
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely like down a couple of them.
Yeah.
Easy, yeah. So he must, in this bag, he must have, I'm going to say 2 people. I assume he got food for both of them. Maybe he just got food for himself. I don't know.
Yeah, screw her.
I mean, it sounds like they're having...
I'm confronting her on her infidelity and food and money issues.
It seems like they're having trouble. Maybe he just gets burgers for himself. I'm saying he's got maybe like 4 or 5 in there for himself.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know. But here's my thing. Is he taking the burgers out of the bag and like pitching them?
Yeah, he's throwing them at full speed. Yeah,
because at first I thought like maybe he was like he had the bag and he was like hitting her with the bag.
No, he's taking them out and baseball throwing
and winging them.
Yeah, fastball down the middle.
Fast
burger down the middle. Curve burger.
A fast burger. I feel bad for her, but at the same time I'm like, do burgers cause that much damage? They're so...
I mean, if they're wrapped tightly...
You really think a McDonald's cheeseburger, you really think that's doing some damage?
I'm just trying to take her side. I would imagine if they're wrapped tightly and he's flinging them like a fastball.
I mean, maybe he's like really like...
he's angry.
Just winding up, and it's like point blank range because...
The police report specifically says he's very irate.
Okay.
So he's whipping them.
I assume they're in close quarters too. So they're like pelting her like point blank range.
Right. You're getting a point blank cheeseburger
right to the face.
Yeah. That's funny you mentioned the face too, because the next thing I was going to read, 2 of the burgers struck the right side of her head according to the police report.
Okay.
So it must have.
Well, thank you for that specificity.
It must have. I don't know.
It must have been enough to
make a note of it.
To be I guess I didn't know burgers could do that much damage. I got to go to McDonald's now and get some ammunition.
Should we have an experiment?
Yeah, we'll just stand at opposite ends of the room and just like pelt each other with burgers, and then we'll report the findings.
Yeah, well, we got the webcam. Yeah, can we run? Where do you have? Do we have a McDonald's nearby? Can we figure this out?
I can't. I don't even know where the nearest one is. Yeah, we have to get a bunch of cheeseburgers.
We got to put like
instead of like snowball fights, hamburger fights.
We need to get like 20 of these McDoubles.
Yeah. Now McDoubles, that's a little bit more volume there. That could do some damage.
Yeah. Maybe.
What do you think the most aggressive hamburger to throw is?
The 10 patty one.
Oh, so you're building like a custom burger to throw?
Well, no.
Can you even throw that though?
Is it Jake's Wayback Burger or is it Burger? One of them makes like a crazy
10 patty burger.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah.
How do you even eat that?
You don't. That's literally something you buy and you post on social media to be like, oh,
yeah, because you
ordered
can't. Like,
this.
I don't know how people get these sandwiches that are like, well, non-video people can't see, but like they're the size of your head. You can't squish it down enough to eat it. My mouth doesn't open that large.
Yeah.
When I see a sandwich that's too big, I'm like, I get frustrated because you can't eat it.
Yeah, it's impractical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to be able to fit the sandwich.
You have to break out a knife and fork at that point.
Yeah. I see like all these fancy sandwiches that I see on like, I don't know, YouTube and places where they like stack it real high. And I'm like, who's eating that? Nobody's eating that.
Yeah.
My sandwich needs to fit in the mouth.
There's a subreddit. I think it's like bad food or idiot food or something like that. They go over like all those food items where you're like, you roll your eyes like, come on, like nobody's actually gonna eat that.
Yeah.
Or if you do, you're not eating it the way it's intended. I think it's like idiot food or something.
Is it stupid food?
Stupid food. Yeah, there you go.
Is that what it is? I'm like looking it up right now.
If you want your new subreddit of the day. Yeah.
Okay, so like perfect example. I found this. I don't know if there's a way to show this. Should I just
I don't know if we
hold
can.
my computer up to the camera?
We don't have you connected. So
okay,
I don't
so
know.
for reference, this sandwich is basically the height of like 2.5 soda cans stacked up.
Yeah,
because they have a can of Coke next to it as a reference. Like, just imagine taking 2 cans of Coke. Like, wrap your mouth around that.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to do it.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
Rich, you just found me a new subreddit to follow.
There you go.
This is amazing.
There you go. Put that on your backlog. You'll have some fun with it. But getting back to the story, so yeah, it must have caused some sort of discomfort because that's what the police report noted, that she got hit on the right side of the head. Maybe it probably gave her a headache. Maybe you get hit hard enough, that'll probably give you a headache.
I mean, if you're getting pelted like repeatedly in the head,
right?
Yeah, definitely.
Perez and the woman were in a relationship for 8 years. They've been married for another 3, and they have kids. But I don't know where the kids are. Yeah.
Oh no, were the burgers for the kids?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Did he just throw his children's food?
I don't know. I don't think so, because I think they would have mentioned the kids were around. They don't say that on the police report. But that would be a crappy dad.
I can't.
Where's my burger?
Daddy, I'm hungry. Be quiet.
Be quiet. I have to pelt your mom with burgers.
You makes me very, very mad. You eat the cheeseburger and smoke the crack?
So wait, how many kids they have? Did it say?
Just says they have
It's just
kids
they
in
have
common.
kids.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I don't think they were on the scene. I think they would have noted in the
I don't know.
police
I don't
report.
trust police reports because they're weirdly specific about certain things and weirdly not specific about other things.
Yeah.
I like to imagine that they were there, that they were like having, like, he walks in with the food, they're like ready to eat. They're like, I'm so excited for a McDonald's hamburger. And then all of a sudden, they just start yelling. Next thing you know, Dad's just throwing dinner. Yeah. And they're like, really, Dad? Come on.
All right. Well, one more twist here on the story before we end it.
Uh-oh, plot twist.
Yep. Turns out that Perez is actually one of the fellow cops in their department.
Oh, no.
How do you like that twist? Hey, Bob.
They show up and they're like,
hey, Andres.
Hey, Andre.
Hey, Andy. How you doing?
Yeah. Did you drop your burgers? What's going on here?
Yeah.
That's awkward.
That's really awkward. You got to arrest one of your coworkers.
Oh, man.
Because and it does say they took him to the county jail.
I mean, you got to. You can't pelt somebody with burgers and injure them and not.
That's really got to be awkward.
Yeah.
I got to process you. Like, yeah, you know the drill. Come on.
Yeah, right. Exactly. He like goes and gets his own little like mugshot card.
Yeah.
He helps them out actually.
Yeah. Yeah, Bill. Yeah, the eyes for the slate, they're over on the left hand side. Yeah, you got it.
Thanks. Yeah, awesome. Yeah. Actually, if you go into my second desk drawer, you can.
Yeah, the P's always fall off. Just give me a B.
I'll just turn it. I'll just flip it.
Yeah. Boy, yeah, that's really got to be awkward.
That's awkward.
Yeah.
Whoops. I mean, don't bean your wife with or girlfriend. Who is this? Just partner with hamburgers.
No, his wife. It is his wife. Okay. And also, but also too, the cops got on the scene while he was doing it. Okay. So that means they were arguing like a good 5-10 minutes ahead of time.
Right.
Because one of the neighbors had to place the call.
Yeah. Well, I don't think you escalate straight to burger throwing. I feel like there's a buildup.
Right.
You know, I don't think you're like, oh, all of a sudden you go from 0 to launching burgers, you know?
Right, right.
There's like a gradual ramp up, usually. I wouldn't know.
So, yeah, he was booked into his own county jail, and he was charged with misdemeanor battery.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
that's what happens when you throw your hamburgers. I mean, you know, again, I always go back to this. Like,
he was placed in the jail of the Miami-Dade Police Department, which is the same department that he works in.
Wow.
Wow, that's got to be awkward.
He's sitting there in the jail.
Also, like, your boss is probably there, too. Like, hi.
It's time for, like, performance review time. He's like, crap. Definitely not getting that promotion now. He's looking around in his little jail cell, and he's like, I forgot to clean.
putting in a rough night overtime.
Yeah, overtime. Yeah. Hey, Andy, what are you doing here? I'm just putting in some extra hours.
Yeah. Yeah, you know. Can't keep a cop down.
No.
Not necessarily a good cop.
No. Not after he beans his wife with hamburgers.
Yeah.
And takes their children's food.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm convinced it was for the kids, and he just threw all their dinner all over the place.
Maybe. But there you go. True story. He batted his wife with McDonald's cheeseburgers, and then it turned out he was a cop and got sent to his own local police department.
That's awkward.
That's got to be so embarrassing.
Oh, man. I mean, like, the arrest aside, like, you can't go back to work.
Yeah, right? That's like you got to quit.
You make bail, whatever happens with the charges. Like, what do you do, show up for work next Monday?
Yeah.
You're just like, hey, I'm back? No.
If he does have the balls to come back, like, move his desk to the jail cell that he was in.
Yeah, right.
You got to pull a prank on him or something like that.
Oh, absolutely. You gotta rub it in.
Yeah.
Like, fill his drawers with hamburgers.
Oh, yeah, that too. Because everyone in the office is going to know he pelted everyone with hamburgers.
He's the Hamburglar.
Or he walks into the bullpen, everyone just bats him with hamburgers.
Throwing hamburgers.
Yeah, you like that. But
oh, man.
There you go. A true odd news story.
What a dummy.
Yeah. First the hamburgers, but then also you get sent to the jail or to the police station that you work at.
At least go to a different county.
Yeah, come on.
Right?
Commit your crime in a different location.
Yeah.
One of the drawbacks of working nearby or living by your work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Drawback.
Got to keep your crime and professional life separate.
Yeah. But there you go. That'll do it. We had a jam-packed show. Lots of drama, lots of hearsay, lots of critiquing, lots of he said, she said, and reporting. It's been crazy. What an episode.
That's how we like it.
But nevertheless, that's what we do. We give you the most interesting bits in world sports, entertainment, and odd news here on the Crispy Noodle Podcast. If you like what you heard, make sure you go to our website, thecrispynoodle.com. Make sure you follow us on all the social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, X, whatever that is, Twitter. I don't know, X-Twitter, I don't know.
X-Twitter.
Something.
That works.
But most importantly, make sure you have a way to get our podcast sent to you every Wednesday, whether that is through Facebook Watch, whether that is through YouTube. You just go to our YouTube channel and hit subscribe, and you'll get the episode sent directly to you on your YouTube page, or on Spotify. And Spotify is also a very good option to use because Spotify you can put on in the background and listen to us as an audio-only podcast, and therefore you can also bring us on the go with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. So there's lots of ways to enjoy the Crispy Noodle Podcast every Wednesday, whether it's through one of those channels, and you're going to want to too because we're getting ready for football season. So
yeah.
I know I got the Fantastic Four picks ready, so we're gearing up for that.
It's going to be good stuff. So many ways to check out the Crispy Noodle Podcast, but if you need to get in touch with us individually, you can find us on X. I'm at Mikey Costanzo, MikeyCostanzo.
And I'm at Rich Liebig, RichLiebig. Find us there. But for right now, that'll do it. We got to wrap this up. This has been the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news. That'll do it. We'll see you guys next week.
See you guys.
Later. Bye-bye, all you fine peoples. Good night.
Some of us have great stories, pretty stories that take place at lakes with boats and friends and noodle salad. A lot of people, that's their story. Good times, noodle salad.